Order. The House is resumed and I call on members Order of the Day number 3.
Minimum Wage, Mitigation of Youth Unemployment Amendment Bill, first reading.
The Honourable Sir Roger Douglas.
I move the Minimum Wage Mitigation of Youth Unemployment Amendment Bill be now read a first time. At the appropriate time, if given a first reading, which does not appear likely, I would move that it be considered by the Transport and Employment Committee. This bill, Mr. Speaker, is about two very simple things. The first thing it's about is jobs. The second is helping young people find their footing in the labour market, giving them a start. Since the Labour-led government abolished the youth minimum wage in 2008, youth unemployment has soared. Since 2008, youth unemployment for 15 to 19-year-olds has almost doubled. The number of unemployed youth has risen by more than 18,800 people. The recession has had an obvious impact, but the youth rate of unemployment is far higher than usual in a recession. University of Canterbury economist Eric Crampton has demonstrated that there is a large rise in youth unemployment in the rate relative to the adult rate when the youth minimum wage was raised to the adult level. Youth unemployment today stands at 26.5%, a national disgrace. The rate for Maori is even worse and stands at 38.7%. Almost 2 out of 5 young Maori people in this country are unemployed. Or to put it in another way, for every 1.5 young Maori people who are in employment, one person is unemployed. Yet the Maori Party, as I understand it, intend to vote for this situation to continue. They intend to vote against this bill. Why do the National, Labour, New Zealand Maori and Green parties keep pretending that the abolition of the youth minimum wage has helped people in New Zealand when it has in fact stopped many young people from finding work? It is Labour and now National who will tell you that they care about the young people of this country. But the people of New Zealand should not be fooled. It is they who are responsible for the large number of young people who cannot find work. Labour and now National have forced thousands of young people to go without gainful employment. Why does the youth minimum wage have this unintended consequence? Business, Mr. Speaker, are not charity. They respond to prices just like the rest of us. The abolition of the youth minimum wage has priced young people out of the market. This has occurred because many young people are just starting out on their career. They will be searching for their first job. Their lack of training and experience means that they have few skills. What Labour and now National have forced them to do is to compete with adults. They are forced to compete with those people who have had a lot more time and experience and skills. I find it hard that the National Government will not support this bill when they have conceded that the abolition of youth minimum wage has led to unemployment. Then again, the National Party has always been bold in opposition but have proved to be spineless in government. As Wayne Mapp said when debating this issue in 2006, the problem is if one
Point of order. A point of order has been called.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sort of reluctant to do this, but in the interests of decorum in the House, and despite the fact that the National Party didn't take an objection, spineless when there's a reference to members of Parliament or a parliamentary party has been ruled out on a number of occasions. I can remember back to comments by the Right Honourable Sir Robert Muldoon, which were on that particular word was ruled out. back a long time ago.
Well, the thing is, the order is the member wanting to speak to the point of order. The Honourable Sir
I
Roger
think
Douglas.
that reference was related to one individual member and not a party as a whole.
I think that's an important distinction. Where a member accuses another member of being gutless, spineless or lacking in courage, that's clearly out of order. But had the National Party been worried, it would be up to the National Party to object, I think, if they'd found it offensive. The Honourable Sir Roger Douglas.
The Speaker, as I was saying, Wayne Mapp said the problem is if one artificially boosts minimum wages to levels that are frankly too high and one ends up reducing profitability, reducing opportunity and reducing the ability to put more money into improving skills. When Nationals in government, they play the numbers game. Those thousands of young people who are out of work do not in general vote. Some of them are too young. It does not matter to the pollsters in the National Party. When in government, the National Party are happy to help out the unions who want to erect higher and higher barriers for those who are out of work. In government, National clearly does not believe in principle or in bold implementation. The only question they appear to ask is how do we stay in power? What is the alternative offered to unemployed youth? The law makes it illegal for a young person to be hired on anything less than $12.75 an hour or $510 a week. In other words, unless a young person has a productive value of at least $510 a week, they are unemployable. This is what John Key, Phil Goff and Peter Sharples are saying. The people who say they care for young people, they are saying to the 16-year-old who could earn $400 a week that he or she is not allowed to do that. They have made it illegal for him or her to work at that rate. John Key and the National Party care so much about their short-term image that they will stop young people with the capacity to earn $400 a week from doing so. That is, from having a job that pays them that amount. Instead, John Key and the National Party, supported by the Labor Party, will force them to collect the benefit of $160 a week. So they care so much for the young people of this country that they will make many of them unemployed and in the process make them $240 a week worse off. But even worse than that, the National Party, the Labour Party, the Greens and the Maori Party all say to the unemployed Maori, young Maori of 16 years of age, no, you not only cannot accept that job paying $400 a week, you cannot get the first job in the first place. You cannot start developing your skills. You cannot get work experience. We fail many of those young people who do not have a productive value of $510. We failed them through the education system. And now, Mr. Speaker, we intend to fail them once again in the Labor Party for certain. Instead, what we are saying to that young person who could get $400 at the warehouse, who could get $400 at the grocery store, what we are saying is you cannot accept that $400. You have